I hope I answer your question.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. Another question we have, also going back to, you, Jack, and Eva's background. So someone asked, before this NFT artwork, what kind of art did you guys create?
I would say we are both very adaptable to different kind of art. Take this NFT artwork, for example, is something out of our comfort zone, right? Like, we rarely do something like this. A lot of the t-shirt design are not very poster-like, are not very tarot card-like. They're a lot more simpler, a lot more straightforward, sometimes hyper-realistic as well, a lot of Photoshop, less Illustrator. So I would say both of us are actually quite good with adaptation of graphic.
Yeah, I mean, like, this NFT art itself is also like one type of art that we do. We just don't apply it on like apparel. Yeah.
Yeah, so just to reiterate a little bit, Jack and Eva and the whole like architects team, they designed all of PMC's apparel. So whatever collection you see us put out, it's Jack, Eva, and the rest of the team who designs it.
Shout out to Umo, shout out to Ashraf as well.
Yes. The whole team.
Very good.
I know you guys are listening as well.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's probably a good point to say, like, when it comes to the design, like, part of the aspect of the design is that it's also going to be on merch as well. So that's something that you have to look forward to with owning this NFT as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Jack, Eva, Rosh, Jeevan, anything else you guys want to add about the design? Whether front end, back end.
I'm all good. I think someone did ask a question on
I see it now.
Jack and Eva's like background before they started working with PMC, I think.
Okay. Jack, Eva,
I go first?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'll go first. My background before I joined PMC, I mean, if you want to go all the way back to my college days, I studied in Raffles KL, that is, for my advanced diploma before I moved to the UK for 3 years to do my undergrad. Both graphic design based. I'm not that great with illustration, like actually at the beginning, because my major was very advertising focused, and therefore illustration is not something that I need to learn in that sense. Back in both of the institutions that I've studied. And I've somewhat learned my illustration skill when I joined the workforce. I worked in this this advertising firm called Tremendousness. I think one of the guy here is actually from Tremendousness as well. G. So he's actually one of my ex-colleagues, and he's a graphic designer as well. So shout out to G. Yeah, I started off from there, and that's where I learned my illustration skill from the person that I mentioned earlier, one of the presidents that I've somewhat included in the slideshow. He's actually my creative director again. I've somewhat picked up a few things from him throughout my time in Tremendousness before I moved into digital agency 3 years later. And I spent 2 years there learning about website design, hence little knowledge of creating the Tiger Archives website as well. And yeah, I spent 2 years in this digital agency before I jumped straight to fashion, which is a massive switch. I mean, like in my career, because when I joined PMC is almost like starting from the ground up. But I have my best time here. To be honest, I love every single thing I do here. I mean, purely because I'm super into fashion as well, and I think that's where my passion lies. So yeah, your turn, Eva.
Okay, yeah, I actually studied here, and I actually studied multimedia design back in college, not graphic design. Yeah, I actually studied multimedia design, and actually, back in the days, we actually learned a lot than graphic design. So I actually don't know how to do like an animation and stuff. Also, at my previous workplace, I instead of illustration, I do a lot of motion graphic or motion for music videos and um, like more of it are on animation stuff. And then like same as Jack, I actually can't draw at all before I joined the team. Like I hate drawing. I cannot even draw like a proper person. So like I think PMC, like when I joined PMC, I really walk out of my comfort zone. Yeah, and now I can proudly say that I'm a graphic designer come illustrator. Yep. I don't have a interesting background as Jack. So yeah, that would be mine.
I think you both have very interesting backgrounds. And I think that's really, really great. That you can take what you learn from one place and really like put it into what you do now. I think that's amazing. Okay, we have a few more questions. So how did you guys split the workload? Did one person focus on the tigers and the other on the trades, or did you both do a bit of everything? And they also said that the work looks great. So thank you for saying that.
Before I say anything, I would like to correct myself earlier. It was not G, it was it was Cheeson 9000. Sorry, they had like a very similar avatar. So
I think G must be wondering, I don't know you guys.
How do we split our workload? It's something that we both need to communicate. Like very, in a way whereby we need to make sure that we don't do things that is counterproductive. Whereby I'm doing the same tiger, so we make sure we collect all the tiger poses. For example, let's say taking the poses as an example. We compile everything, and then that's where we split, I guess. And then when it comes to the coloring as well, we make sure we don't come across or overlap each other's tiger to somewhat save time in that sense. But yeah, I hope I answer your question.
Yeah. Okay. I put out a last call for questions, so we'll see if any questions come through. But if not, any parting words? Jeevan, Rosh, you wanna say anything before I bring it to Jack and Eva?
I mean, thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. That's that's kind of it. Say thank you.
It's getting late
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Yeah. That's. I just want to reiterate what Jeev says. It's wonderful to have you all here in the same Discord and listening to this chat. We are super stoked and very excited to be part of this, and we can't wait to reveal everything to you later this month and early into next month. Yeah, there's a lot to get excited about. So
You sound knackered, man. Way past your bedtime.
yeah, that's it. I gotta get some sleep before the two kitties wake me up somewhere along the line. So yeah, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Like there is so much to look forward to with this project. Like the design work is awesome. The utilities can be as good, if not better. Yeah, keep following the project. We're not far away from public end.
That's right. There is so much to be looking forward to for this project. There really is. Jack and Eva, before you say your parting words, one last question for you both. Give us one iconic character or symbol or any art that resonates with you as a person. That's a loaded question.
What?
What in traits related or
Up to you whether you want it to be trait related or not.
I would say, man, I want to say I resonate more to the Terminator one, but I think when it comes to the Avatar, Hugh somewhat stole it. So the second one, I would say the Trippy Tiger, the one I have at the moment, because I'm always lost track of time. I'm always designing, so I reckon that would resonate me most.
How long did that Trippy Tiger take? Sorry, Eva.
No. Just carry on.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
just
Amelia?
how long did that Trippy Tiger take you?
Oh no, that was quite easy actually.
All right, Eva.
Yeah.
Oh. Eva?
Okay, so for me, I think I'll pick even though my avatar is like the galaxy one, but I'll pick the 10 version or like the black version because I'm just basic like that. Yeah.
You're not basic at all. All right. I think that concludes our happy
You know
hour.
why she choose black?
Why?
Because that's like her characteristic as well, fierce.
No.
Yes, I agree.
All of the tigers there. Yeah, so it's
I'm like scared of her sometimes.
She
And she
rules.
recently bought a pair of like all black Air Force One as well. That's gangster.
Yeah. Damn. Want to see you rock that, Eva?
thanks.
Yeah, I want to say that too. It actually that question sort of prompted another question in my mind, which I think would be interesting to hear from. Is obviously this project is linked to the Tiger New Year, which is coming up. So there was an element of the design process which was obviously picking lucky charms, and like in some sense, we would want to see this NFT collection become kind of like a symbol of what it is you want from the new year. There's some element of the generative aspect being luck or fate in generating something that is symbolic of what the new year will be for you. But then there's also an aspect of it which is finding something that you want from the year. So all of these different like traits and lucky charms and symbols that we've given a sneak peek to. It's going to be really interesting to see how people change and flip and purchase and mint all of these different traits because I think it's we're all optimistic. I think for a new year, hopefully one that is better than the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts, Jack and Eva, on what of all the lucky traits and stuff, why did you choose the ones that you did, and what do they mean?
Eva, this is the question for you.
Since because this is a lucky tiger, so the reason I chose this element as a lucky charm is because they are more relatable to the culture itself. Yeah, so for example, they are all actually related to the Chinese culture and also the festive. Are you sharing? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
There you go. Oops. Shit. There you go.
Yeah, so I guess when it comes to some of these emblems, why we choose these elements, like what Eva mentioned, it plays a major role in the Asian or the Chinese culture. All of these emblems or lucky charm, for example, like it plays a role in like us growing up or the things we have experienced growing up as well. For example, when it comes to the cards or the mahjong, it's a huge Asian culture, right? And I mean, if you put it in a betting perspective, it may not sound like a lucky charm at all, but a lot of times when you have a good hands, like for example, like this triple A's, this is like the most luckiest hand you will ever get, for example. And every CNY, every Chinese New Year, this is like the game we play on like the first day with the family, be it betting with just $1 or two. Everyone's just having good times, right? So like in that perspective, like firecrackers or koi fish always bring us luck, and it's technically a symbol of luck in that sense. When it comes to like the top emblem as well, like having the lion dance, and Malaysia being the best in lion dance, even like on top of China, is something that as Malaysian are super proud of. Things like that. That's not just a lucky element, but also something that make us like give us a really nostalgic feeling, as well as the luck, I guess. So yeah, I hope we answer your question, Roshan.
That's great. Like, I guess for me, like, I'm not as familiar with necessarily Chinese culture. Like, I've seen these elements before, and like they're very familiar, but I don't necessarily. Like, I can pick, for instance, a couple and just sort of say what does that mean. So, like, say for instance, the koi fish. What does that mean to those who don't know?
It actually means it represents wealth and prosperity.
Amazing. So that's what I should look forward to.
Yep.
I mean,
You should get a koi fish.
Rosh, you don't know already, most Chinese like symbols, it mostly means wealth or prosperity or both.
okay. Cool. So the flower means the same thing or slightly different?
Slightly different.
The lotus. I think more or less the same.
Which one here says wag me? That's a real question.
Yeah.
Maybe the peach.
Peach, I love it. Awesome. Very cool, guys.
Right.
Thanks so much for answering that.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, to all the speakers and also to everyone that's listening. The Twitter giveaway, we still have about 54 minutes to go till it ends. So we will be announcing the winner shortly after 9 p.m. So in about an hour's time. So if you haven't taken part already, please go. All you have to do is retweet and tag 3 of your friends. And of course, follow us on Twitter. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this session. I certainly learned a lot. So yeah, thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.